Good morning, Phante.
Okay, so now we are on live in through the Facebook page, Dhammika Live. So my name is Venerable Theavisok, or in Buddhist name Muniputto, and I'm from Seattle, Washington State, USA. So we are very honored to have invited Most Venerable Dr. Chantima from Canada. So I will introduce him in a minute, but before that, we shall start by paying homage to the Triple Gem by reciting the Bodhisattva 3 times together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. All right, greeting everyone. Again, nice to see all of you here. And we are in the Zoom right now, 21 people. And there are some people who are following us on the Facebook Live as well. So hope we all can acquire more knowledge about the applications of mindfulness, Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, which Venerable Dr. Chantima will be delivering in a short moment. But before that, I would like to introduce a little bit about Venerable, just a short introduction about Venerable Dr. Gangoda Vila Chantima. He is a Canadian Buddhist monk and also resident in the Theravada Buddhist Vihara in Ottawa, Canada. In 2015, Venerable earned a PhD degree in Sanskrit from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura in Sri Lanka. And Phante also is a senior advisor at Bodhisattva, and he has been serving in many great works for the sake of the community in Canada as well as in many other places. And you can follow him, his works on Facebook and also in his blog, bodhisattva.blogspot.com. So, well, before we start to the lecture, I would like to invite everyone here just to introduce yourself, your name, and the place where you live. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Phante, and good evening, everyone. Sorry, Bon. My name is Konthia. I'm from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Thank you. Bon.
Namaste, Phante. I'm host Rebecca from Cambodia. Right now in Golden Mountain. Good evening from Cambodia, Phante.
Good morning. Oh, Mina, I think you're muted.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll let you go first.
Okay.
One more time. Unmute, unmute.
Thank you. Right. Hello, thank you. My name's Meena Madhukanta. I'm from United Kingdom. I'm in London, and I thought I'd come and join you all today. Thank you.
Good morning from Seattle. My name is Sakan Tim.
Good morning, Phante. I can open camera. Now, my name Công Chiang. Now I at Vipassana Thura at Udong in Konda province from Cambodia.
Good evening.
Namaste, Bhante. I'm with Kamchiang as well. We come here together for meditation. So we are at Vipassana Turiya Center. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Bhante. I'm Sherry here from Singapore. Bhante, sorry, I'm using my handphone for the Zoom. So I'm probably I can't hold the handphone like that for 2 hours. Apologize.
Good morning, Bhante. My name is Samphi. I'm from Phnom Penh, Cambodia.
Good morning, Bhante. I am Kunmili Malai from Washington State, USA. Thank you.
Good evening, Bhante. I am Sampot from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Thank you.
Greeting from Phnom Penh and good morning, Bhante. My name is Pisai from Cambodia.
Good evening, Bhante. My name is Visal. I'm from Cambodia. Thank you.
Good morning, Ponte. I'm Hengwone from California. Thank you, Ponte.
Good morning, Bhante. I'm Nathan Barnes from near Portland, Oregon.
Right. All right, Bhante. I think you can start right now. And so please mute everybody. Okay. Bhante, you can share screen too if you wish. I just make you a co-host.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone, and good evening, everyone. Thank you, Bhante Muniputo. I'm, comfortable in pronouncing that Pali word properly, name. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for Dhammika Academy and related organizations for inviting me, for giving this lecture. Okay, so I think we took some time in introducing everyone, but it's okay. It's good to know everyone. There are people that I know as well. Thank you for joining to listen to the talk. So let me share the slide first so that I can easily describe. Okay, so the 4 applications of mindfulness, and we call them Satipaṭṭhāna. Chattara means 4. That's how our topic, is reflected in today's talk. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that this is the sutta. I mean, there are 2 suttas that you might see in regard to Satipaṭṭhāna. So popular name is Mindfulness. So there are two main suttas that talk about this topic. They are DN 22, that means Digha Nikaya 22, Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, which is the longest, the most extensive version of the subject, and then MN 10, which means Majjhima Nikaya, which has an abridged version of Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. I think we oftentimes deal with this sutta, I mean, talk about this sutta, because, you know, it is in short. But there is a difference between these two suttas, you know, except the length. The main difference between these two suttas is that in the Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, we can see that there is a broad treatment. I mean, there is a deep analysis about the Saccapabba of the Dhammanupassana Satipaṭṭhāna. You know, there are 4 Satipaṭṭhānas, which we'll talk about later: Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana. So you can see this Dhammanupassana Satipaṭṭhāna has been explained in great details in the Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. Other than that, I don't see there is a big difference between the two suttas. Also, I wanted to tell you that not only these two suttas talk about Satipaṭṭhāna. If you can take a look at Samyutta Nikaya, there is a Samyutta called, I think, 47 Samyutta, which is called Satipaṭṭhāna Samyutta, which has 104 suttas. In all these suttas, we can see that there are information about Satipaṭṭhānas, but there's a difference between Satipaṭṭhāna Samyutta and these two suttas. That difference is we don't see a combination of the 4 Satipaṭṭhānas in all these suttas, I mean, which you see in the Satipaṭṭhāna Samyutta. Only we can see this framework of the 4 Satipaṭṭhānas in particular in these suttas called Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta and Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. So there are, you know, other places, other references about Satipaṭṭhāna in many other places, but you know, most importantly, these two suttas combine the framework of these Satipaṭṭhānas in great details. Okay, so before I jump into the 4 Satipaṭṭhānas, let me share with you some, you know, interesting points about the whole sutta, especially some words. Now, what is Satipaṭṭhāna? Now, Satipaṭṭhāna has been translated by many to be foundation of mindfulness. They take it by decombining sati and patthana. But if you can take a look at the you know, the contents and the hidden and the broader meaning of these 4 Satipaṭṭhānas, you can notice that, observe that it is not a foundation. It is an establishment of Satipaṭṭhānas. So that is what we have to understand. Because if you take the Sanskrit word, you know, in regard to Satipaṭṭhāna, we can see Smrutyupasthāna. So the word has been decombined in a way as Upaṭṭhāna, not Patthāna. Sati Upaṭṭhāna, not as Sati Patthāna. So we had to take the bigger meaning of Satipaṭṭhāna as being Sati Upaṭṭhāna. So Sati Upaṭṭhāna means is a process, a way of establishing mindfulness. So when you say foundation of meditation, mindfulness, then you will pick on the objects. You will take these 4 Satipaṭṭhānas as objects, but they are not, you know, mainly objects. They are a process of bringing you into, you know, Nibbana. That's why it is said at the beginning of this sutta, beginning as well as the end, this kind of a statement in Pali. Ekayano ayang bhikkave maggo sattanang visutthiya soka pariddavanang samatikkamaya dukkha domanassanang attangamaya Nyayassa adhigamaya, Nibbanassa Satchikiriyaya, Yadidang Chattaru Satipaṭṭhāna. Okay, so now the meaning of this statement is this is the direct path for the purification of beings. Ekayano means a direct path. Now there will be a confusion to many. Then what about the Noble Eightfold Path? What's the connection between the Noble Eightfold Path and Satipaṭṭhānas? I will get into that at a later point, but I will just give you a head set about it. The main difference between Satipaṭṭhānas and the Eightfold Noble Path is Eightfold Noble Path is the direct path, but Satipaṭṭhānas play a vital part of that Eightfold Noble Path. That's how we had to understand, because there's no path other than Eightfold Noble Path for someone to attain Nibbana. And the statement also says Soka Pariddavanam Samatikamaya, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation, because we always sorrowful and lamenting about things we have, we own, people, things. And Dukkha Domanassanam Attangamaya, for the disappearance of pain and grief. This is another stage of sorrow and lamentation. And Nyaya Sadhigamaya. Nyaya, what is Nyaya? Nyayo Vuchati Arya Attangiko Mako. So another word for Eightfold Noble Path. Nyaya means the Eightfold Noble Path. Nibbana Satchikriyaya, and that is what we say at the end for the attainment of the true way and the realization of Nibbana. Okay, so now the sutta, I would say Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta's background story was given in a place called Kuru. It is one of the Mahajanapadas in India. When you go to commentary, we understand this: the people in the Mahajanapada called Kuru, they come from the Uttara Kuru continent, because in the Buddhist teachings, we have a different way of naming continents. We call them Jambudipa, Ubbhavideha, Aparagoyana, Uttara Kuru. So the eastern continent, if you take it as a circle, and the eastern continent is called as Ubbhavideha, and the northern continent is called as Aparagoyana, and the western continent is called as Uttarakuru, and the southern continent is called as Jambudvipa. I think this Jambudvipa, which means India, is a bigger place. I mean, not the India we see at this point. So the commentary says, the commentary to both Digha Nikaya, Sutta, Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, and Majjhima Nikaya Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, they say that people who live in Kuru, they come from Uttara Kuru continent, because there is a notion that these continents were combined together, in the past. And there was a small township called Kammasadam. So this is where the Buddha, gave this Dhamma talk. And there were a few suttas Buddha gave in this particular village: Mahanidana Sutta, Digha Nikaya, and Ananjasappaya Sutta, which is in the Majjhima Nikaya as well. So with that, I would like to go into the Satipaṭṭhānas back again. Okay. And there is a thought that some people may have. Satipaṭṭhāna, here all the Satipaṭṭhānas reflect a non-reactive awareness, which is not correct, because in the Satipaṭṭhānas we don't see that. You can take it as a partial understanding, but in all the Satipaṭṭhānas we see that Buddha asks us to stay on to the particular frame of our mindfulness, which is any of the Satipaṭṭhānas. It's not that you are not reacting, to something. No, it's not non-reactive awareness. It's how you're gonna look at the body, the feelings, mind, and mental factors, properties. So you are not making stories for your body. You are not fabricating your body. You are not making stories for your feelings. You are not fabricating your feelings. You are not making your mind. You are not, making stories for your mind. You are not fabricating your mind. You are not fabricating or making Dhamma. So you are looking at these aspects of mindfulness just the way how they are. It's a vipassana way. So that is what we say. It's not non-reactive awareness. You have to understand what they are in their own perspective. Okay, so now we all have this subjective experience. So we always experience subjective experience. Even now, you are watching me, you are watching through Zoom, and we have this subjective experience. You might compare, you might see your past experiences, your experiences now, and your experiences which will be in the future. So in short, what we understand is we are trying to investigate our subjective experience through the 4 Satipaṭṭhānas. This is the main purpose of Satipaṭṭhāna. We are trying to investigate subjective experience through 4 Satipaṭṭhānas, which will take us to objective understanding of those experiences, because we are struggling with subjective experiences. Because when you take body, people get stuck in the body. Simply speaking, we know, simply speaking, we know Nitya, Sukha, Atta. So when we talk about our body, we always think it's permanent. When we talk about our, the sort of, happiness or suffering of the body, we always take it as not suffering. And then when it comes to the third part of that category, we say our body is, ours. So we always take in a way with our subjective experience. But through practicing Satipaṭṭhānas, when it comes to even Kayanupassana, we're trying to see the body as it is, the feeling as it is, mind as it is, mental, what you call Dhamma, not Dhamma, Dhamma as they are, because Dhamma has couple meanings, multiple meanings. So Dhamma are mental factors. So we're going to see the body as it is, we're going to see feeling as it is, we're going to see mind as it is, we're going to see Dhammas, phenomena as they are. So this is the purpose. There's no other purpose. In order this to happen, we need to understand a couple more things. Now, Kayanupassana and Vedananupassana, they are mainly good for those who have a lot of craving for the body and the things, right? So that's what we understand through Kayanupassana and Vedananupassana, which means contemplation on mindfulness on the body and feelings. While Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana, they are good for those who have more intellectual kind of speculations, who are more intellectual, because that means that doesn't mean they don't have to practice the body, which means Kaya and Vedana, but Chitta and Dhamma are more appropriate for them, because they have this more intellectual speculations. So in short, if you are someone who are more attached to body and feelings, then Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana could be the good Satipaṭṭhānas for you. But if you are someone who is more an intellectual person, then you are good to go with Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana after you practicing body and feeling, Kaya and Vedana. Also, we can see that the 5 aggregates are also reflected in the Satipaṭṭhānas. If you can take a look at of Kayanupassana, mindfulness on the body, it has the Rupa Kanda. Rupa, we know there are 5 aggregates, right? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. So Rupa means, matter. Vedana means feelings. Sanya means perception. Sankhara means, formations. And Vijnana means consciousness. So even if you take a look at that analysis of the body, you can apply that to Satipaṭṭhāna. So we can see the first aggregate in the first Satipaṭṭhāna kind of Pasana. We can see Vedana in the Vedananupassana. We can see Vijnana in the Chittanupassana. We can see Sanya and Sankhara aggregates in the Dhammanupassana. And the person who is struggling with each Satipaṭṭhāna, if we take a look at that thing, we can see there are 4 people in my understanding: slow craver, quick craver, slow theorizer, quick theorizer. Craver in terms of craving. If you have a slow kind of a craving, then Kayanupassana is something that you can emphasize in your practice. If you have a quick, if you are someone who, if you're someone who is having craving very fast about things and people, then Vedananupassana. If you're someone who takes time to theorize phenomena, then Chittanupassana. But if you're someone who is theorizing phenomena very fast, then Dhammanupassana. So slow craver, quick craver, slow theorizer, quick theorizer. That's a kind of a good way of looking at different people. And the wisdom that we have in regard to these particular Satipaṭṭhānas can be this: if someone who is working towards Kayanupassana, that person is trying to get rid of the absence of beauty. Now, beauty is something that we all appreciate, but at times it can take us to different unnecessary paths, right? So if you really work on Kayanupassana, what we understand is that we will have a sort of wisdom about the absence of beauty. In the Vedananupassana, you will see unsatisfactoriness, Vedana. Now, I can talk about that in the Vedananupassana a little bit more. We know that we always get dissatisfied with things we have. We think this is the best way to sit, and then in 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, we think this is not the best way that I like to sit down. I'm going to move a little bit here and there, right? So we are sort of changing our, our postures, our things, so that we will be happy. So that's what we can see through Vedananupassana, which means we are struggling with. We will understand unsatisfactoriness as a nature of wisdom when we practice Vedananupassana. Through practicing of Chittanupassana, we will understand impermanence, anicca. And through practicing Dhammanupassana, we will understand absence of self. Because when you understand phenomena really well, then at the end you will be having this wisdom of absence of self. Okay, so now I want to talk about something really interesting in the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. Okay, so in the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, I don't want to go over everything because Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta is a lengthy piece of work. So I wanted to introduce some of the very interesting highlights of this sutta, so that you will know how things, how the Dhamma teachings make up in the sutta. I wanted to tell you there are 2 key instructions in the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. They are definition and refrain. Take a good look. Definition and refrain. So these 2 make up. These 2 include everything. If you can take a look at each practices of Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana, you will see a definition and a refrain. Now let me read the first. Before that, let me tell you how many practice exercises you can see in the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. 21 exercises, if you can see in the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. You can see 14 exercises in terms of Kayanupassana, and 15, 6, and 2 exercises in Vedananupassana and Chittanupassana, and another 5 exercises in the Dhammanupassana. So altogether, there are 21 exercises that one can practice. Some might ask, should I need to practice all these 4 to attain Nibbana? Not necessarily. Some people may need to take it along the 4 Satipatthanas, but even by practicing Kayanupassana, you can attain Nibbana. You can be insightful, but it depends on the different characters, of individuals. That's something to think about. And as I told you, there are 21 exercises. Now each Satipaṭṭhāna exercise has a definition as well as a refrain. Let me show you one more time. What are they? Okay, the first type of definition is Atapi. What is Atapi? Atapi doesn't mean, now Atapi simply means physical mortification at that time in India. Now a lot of other contemporary teachers, they practice physical mortification, but the Buddha said, what I ask you to do in terms of Satipaṭṭhāna is not the physical mortification, but the mental mortification. So you have to mortify your mentality. So that's what you need to practice. So Atapi simply means you mentally modify. How can you mentally modify? It is to be diligent. You have to practice skillful activities at all times. If you have skillful activities, you're going to develop the skillful practices you have already. If you don't have skillful activities, some of the skillful activities, you're going to let them happen inside of you. So if you have the bad, I would say unskillful activities, you're going to let them go. If you don't have any unskillful activities that you see in other people, you don't let them happen. So that's what we say by being diligent, Atapi. And then Sampajano. What is Sampajano? Clearly knowing. Now, when I say clearly knowing, this is pretty interesting because some people might think then clearly knowing and wisdom could be the same. No, wisdom and clearly knowing, we call it Sampajanya as well. They are 2 different things. Now, for example, one might tell a lie by clearly knowing it, but if you have wisdom, you won't tell a lie. You can't tell a lie. If you are wise, you won't tell a lie. But clearly knowing is a great attempt to understand what you are doing. So that's why Buddha says in all the Satipaṭṭhāna practices that you need to practice Sampajano, clearly knowing, as the second thing. And also Satima, mindful, which means, which means that you are in the moment, you are in the right moment. So this is the clear and the easiest way to understand Satima. But Satima doesn't work without Sampajana and Atapi, right? So you have to be diligent, you have to know clearly what you are doing, and you have to be mindful. And at the same time, Vinaya Loke Abhicca Domanasang. So this is what we have to be careful, because oftentimes, because of our bad mishandling of our experiences, we might get into covetousness and discontent. So Abhicca Domanasa, we're gonna free us from covetousness and discontent, because covetousness and discontent won't pop up if you are diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful. So this is the definition to all the Satipaṭṭhānas. And the refrain. How do we practice the particular Satipaṭṭhānas? There are 4 ways to practice. At the end of each definition, you need to practice it internally, externally. For example, let's say I take the first exercise called Anapanasati, the breathing. So I look at my breathing as it is. And also, if I keep doing it for long, I might be self-centered, which is not good. So I need to look at some other people I know about the same thing. I can I can look at someone else breathing. So internal and external, so both ways have to be practiced. Also, samudaya and vaya, I also need to look at the arising and passing away, which means anicca, dukkha, anatta nature of my breathing, so that I'm not getting stuck in my breathing. Now, if you ask me the difference between a student who is studying in the medical school, who is studying anatomical things, anatomy, what's the difference between someone who is studying anatomy and someone who is practicing Kayanapasana? Because in Kayanapasana, you have two exercises in that we see Patikula Manasikara. You are looking at 32, I guess, anatomical parts of the body, as well as you're going to see at some points, this is not necessary, but for some people at the time of the Buddha, watching the 9 charnel grounds, what happens to a dead body. I mean, these two things are always being watched by medical students. So why they don't attain a kind of a higher state? Because they are not practicing refrain part. They are only looking at, their angle of looking at is mainly finding something, maybe research. And they don't have this ajata bahidha, which means they don't see internally and externally, as well as they don't see through the arising and passing away context when they looking at 32 body parts, as well as the 9 charnel grounds. Also, refrain also has bare knowledge and continuous mindfulness. So Satipaṭṭhāna hoti yavadeva jnanamattaya patissatimattaya. This is something very interesting. I want to tell you in the commentary, how does it say? What is Satipaṭṭhāna hoti? Whenever you know this is my breathing, this is someone else breathing, this is the 4 postures. These are the ways how I can practice clear knowing. This is how I look at 32 anatomical parts of the body. This is how I can see elements of the body. I would say 4 great elements. This is how I'm going to look at the 9 channel grounds. Then you will understand Kayova Atti na Satto na Puggalo na Itti na Puriso na Atta na Attaniya. There is only body exists, no person, no being, no woman, no man, no self. There's no something that is possessed by somebody. It is just a body. And you will come to that understanding. That is what is called by Satipaṭṭhāna hoti, or bare knowledge. You have this bare knowledge. There's no person, no male, females, no animal, no being, just the body. So you will come to that understanding after internal, external contemplations, arising, passing away concentrations, and then you will come to this bare knowledge. And then you will continue to practice the same contemplation. See, Yavadeva Jnanamattaya Patisatimattaya. Not even that, at the end, you will end up being understood by that these things with regard to the body, feelings, mind and dhammas, I would say phenomena, they are things that I should not combine my mind with. I had to decombine my mind from these things. So you are living without clinging to any of those things that you make up, rather than you see what they are in reality. So you will see this is only a body, this is only a feeling, this is only the mind, this is only Dhamma, nothing else. No stories attached to the body, no stories attached to your feelings, no stories attached to your mind, no stories attached to Dhammas that you see. That's very interesting. So I wanted to tell you that when you learn Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, please understand there are 2 key instructions, definition and refrain, which apply to all the Satipaṭṭhāna practices. There are 21 practices which come under Kayanupasana, Vedananupasana, Chittanupasana, Dhammanupasana. Please keep that in mind. And then I'll come to this slide. Now you can see that there is a progression of the 4 Satipatthanas. Now I normally start from Anapana, and you can see when you practice Anapana, you are in a better place to practice, Iriyapata, which means, body postures. When you practice body postures, you are in a better place to practice clear knowledge, Sampajana. That will help you to practice Patikula Manasikara, Dhatu Manasikara, Navasivatika. And then you are able to understand what your feelings exactly are, because they are both given in ethical quality and affective quality. I will explain to you. And then the Chittanupassana, which means higher states of mind and lower states of mind. And then you will end up in such see the end, the summit of your practice of Satipaṭṭhāna. You will end up in such a. So now someone might ask, what is the connection between Anapana, breathing, and understanding the noble truths? I will tell you. The more calmer is your breath, the easier you will be able to understand yourself. Because when you are so much happy, when you are so much greedy, when you are so much angry, when you are so much, disillusional, in either, affective, levels, you can see that there are differences of your breathing. That's why Buddha asks us to look at your breathing, because if you can refine your breath by practicing Anapanasati, you can achieve the rest of everything. You can easily attain the rest of the Satipaṭṭhāna. So there's a big connection between the breathing and the liberation Nibbana. Now, if you can, that's why even the Buddha practiced Anapanasati to attain the Buddhahood, right? So I ask you to understand that there's a big connection between breathing and attaining Nibbana. Because if you work on making your breathing more refined, more lighter, and then you will be easily getting to Nibbana, because breathing is something we can always watch, because we are just watching. We are not trying to control our breathing. So that will easily take you to understand the other Satipatthanas and then to attain the Nibbana. Now, if you take a look at Anapanasati, the first exercise, we know that in that there are a few things to note. You breathe in and breathe out, and then you just know what is happening inside of you, long breath, short breath. But then when it comes to the next level, you are trying to train yourself. Sabbakaya Patisangvedi. You are trying to experience the whole body. That experience of the whole body has to be done as a training, not as a knowing. Now, if you can take a look at the Pali reference, so sato asasati sato pasasati digangva asasanto digang asasamiti pajanati. Rassangva asasanto rassang asasamiti pajanati. But when it comes to the next level, sabbakaya patisangvedi asasissamiti sikkati. Passambhayankaya sankarang asasissamiti sikkati. That means then we have to do some training deliberately. So you're going to watch your long breaths as they are. You're going to watch your short breaths as they are. After that, you're going to experience the whole body, because with the breath, you understand, are there any specific areas of my body, which I need to work on, because because I watch my breath. So you're going to experience the whole body as a training. At the same time, you're going to calm yourself, calm your kaya sankharas. Kaya sankhara means in-breath and out-breath. You're going to calm your in-breath and out-breath as a training. So you have to do as a training, specifically those two things. And there's an example. The example is a carpenter. When a carpenter wants to make a shortcut, he makes a shortcut. When a carpenter wants to make a deep cut, he makes a deep cut. So carpenter understand this is a shortcut, this is a deep cut. The same way, short breath, long breath. So you understand what they are exactly in the way that you notice. You are not trying to take breaths, but you are only know what they are. But when it comes to the third, fourth level, you just experience the body as a training. You have to train yourself. You have to deliberately do that, as well as you're gonna calm your in breath and out breath. I mean, which is a very good thing, because when you're angry, when you into other bad, unskillful qualities, the first thing I ask you to do is calm your in breath and out breath, so that you are in a better place to manage your situation. So that is Anapanasati. I think I will go a little bit quick about explanations, because there are a lot to talk about, but I'm going to only talk about the main things. And when you go into 4 postures, what you understand is that you know your 4 postures. Gacchanto va gacchami iti pajanati. So when going, you know you going. Tito miti pajanati. When standing, you know that you stand. Nisinno miti pajanati. When you sit, you know you sit. Sayano mi pajanati. When you lie down, you know that you are lying. So this is what you practice. Clear knowing has to be practiced that way. And there are 4 other things with regard to Sampajana. That is regarding Sampajana. So basically, when it comes to 4 postures, you are trying to understand your each postures at each time when you are swinging. And then when it comes to Sampajana, we know it has a lot of other basic activities you do, normal activities you do. Abhikkante, patikkante, sampajanakari hoti. It means that when you are looking ahead, you know that you are looking ahead. When you are looking away, you know you are looking away. When you extend your limbs, when you stretch your limbs, when you flex your limbs, you know that what you are doing. And when you eat, you know you eat. When you talk, when you sleep, not even all that, but also tunhi bhave. Even when you don't talk, when you keep yourself silent, you know why I am silent. So you have to practice sampajana in all those ways whenever possible. And in the commentaries, we understand there are 4 ways to practice sampajana other than the normal activities. You need to understand the purpose of your particular activity, sattaka. You need to know, you need to be careful about the particular activity, whether you make mistakes, because sappaya. You need to find out the domain, which means the gochara, in that particular activity. You should not be disillusional. You should not be into ignorance or moha when you do particular activity. So those 4 aspects should be attached to, should be practiced while you are doing your normal activities. So that is sampajanya. And then what about patikula manasikara? Now, some people might think that the Buddha tried to demonize the body. No. Buddha didn't ask people to practice patikula manasikara in the first place. He asked people to practice breathing, 4 postures, sampajanya, which means full awareness, right? But what is with patikula manasikara? Patikula manasikara basically means you're trying to understand that these 32 anatomical parts exist in the body, so that you are not attaching them to too much. So it's not a demonization, it is just to understand what they are. So there is an example, I think, kind of a simile. The simile is, a bag of different grains. So if someone wants to know what is inside the particular, bag, one might think this is rice, this is other grains. So that person clearly distinguishing different kind of grains in that bag. So the same way we understand this is my heart, this is my eyes, this is my, so it is not to demonize your body, it is just to understand what they are. So you are developing a non-attachment to your body. When it comes to the four elements, we know Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, and you also understand everything is made up of four elements. Patavi means this what you call solidity, and called earth element, and Tejo is the heat, Apo is what you call water, and Tejo is temperature. So everything is made up of these four. So whenever you understand everything, myself, yourself, computer, everything, they all made up of these four great elements. So you are developing an understanding about those particular things, not by making stories about yourself, other people, things, but by understanding the true nature of things are exactly Pataviyapo, Tejovayu, and nothing else. And the final one, which is what you call the 14 exercise, is Navasivatika. Now, Navasivatika means at that time there was an understanding that people sometimes looked at dead bodies to contemplate of the nature of the body. So different nature of the body, like decomposition of the body was taken into consideration for meditation. So that was good for some people at that time. So these are the 14 aspects of Kayanupassana. Let me go into Vedananupassana. So in the Vedananupassana, what we see is there are 9 types of feelings. Sukha, dukkha, adukka, masukha. Happy feeling, unhappy feeling. Adukka, masukha, neutral feeling. And then the Buddha brings 6 more feelings called worldly and unworldly feeling. So worldly happy feeling, worldly unhappy feeling, worldly neutral feeling. Unworldly happy feeling, unworldly unhappy feeling, unworldly neutral feeling. So, for example, I will give you a few examples for that. Now, we know what is happy feeling. We know what is painful feeling or unhappy feeling. We know what is neutral feeling. It's a combination of the both. What is worldly happy feeling? Worldly happy feeling means happiness that you have, happy feelings you have when you are at home, when you are struggling, when you are experiencing 6 pleasures. And what is Niramisa? Niramisa means unworldly happy feeling, which is transcendental. Happy feelings when you are letting go your 6 pleasures, right? So when you offer something to someone, so you are happy. It could be in the form of Rupa Vedana. It could be it could be in the form of Rupa, and then Saddha, Gandha, Rasa, Pottabha, Dhamma. I will pick another 2. What about Samisa Dukkha? What's the worldly unhappy or painful feeling? Chagehasita domanasya vedana. So every experience that you have in terms of 6 painful feelings. Let's say whenever you are at home, you are struggling with painful feelings, either in the form of images, sounds, everything like that. And what is Niramisa Dukkha, which means unworldly painful feeling? There's an unworldly painful feeling. What is it? It is whenever you are letting go some experiences in your life, some things to other people. Sometimes you let go with pain. I don't want to let this go, but I have to do it. So you are letting go with pain. So that is called Niramisa Dukkha. So in the same way, worldly neutral feeling and unworldly neutral feeling, which means kind of a feeling of equanimity at home, which is Samisa Adukka Masukha Vedana, which means worldly neutral feeling, and unworldly neutral feeling means feelings of equanimity when you are letting go. You are so neutral when you are letting go. So there are two ways to understand Vedananupassana. One is the ethical side, one is the affective side. So ethically speaking, we know unworldly feelings are the best, right? And when you talk about from a perspective of affective quality, then you can see affective nature of each feeling. So this is what we had to understand about Vedananupassana. So you see these 9 types of feelings as they are. You are not trying to make stories. You are not fabricating. You are not saying this is my feeling, this is your feeling. You're trying to see the feelings as they are. So you always have to bring definition and refrain even to this Vedananupassana too. Going on to Chittanupassana. Now in the Chittanupassana, we can see 16 thoughts. Let me explain to you in short details. The first chitta that you may have is saraga, which means you have greed. Second, vitaraga, which is non-greed. Third, sadosa, which means hatred. Fourth, vitadosa, which means non-hatred, metta. Fourth, samoha, which means a thought of delusion, and vitamoha, non-delusion, a thought of non-delusion. 6, sankitta, we call it a contracted thought, which means a thought which has both tina and mitta, sloth and torpor. When a chitta has tina and mitta, sloth and torpor, we say it's a sankitta chitta. Then 7, vikitta chitta. Vikitta chitta means distracted chitta thought or mind. So how can your mind get distracted? Only through restlessness, uddacha. 8, mahaggata. Mahaggata, I think there are a couple of translations. I would say exalted. Mahaggata chitta means you have an exalted mind, which means you won't have this exalted mind unless you are born in Rupavachara Brahma. So whenever you are born in Rupavachara Brahma world, you have Rupavachara mind, which is called Mahaggata. Amahaggata means unexalted, which means Kamavachara thoughts, which means all the worldly thoughts we have, we call Amahaggata. The 10th one is Sauttara. Sauttara is also, a Kamavachara type of mind, which we call surpass. So our thoughts are always surpassed because these are the thoughts we have in the Kamavachara world. Anuttara chitta means a chitta that appears to both other people who are born in Kamavachara world and the Rupavachara world and the Arupavachara world. So there are two Brahma worlds. And the 12th one, Samahita chitta. Samahita chitta means a mind which has both Arpana Samadhi and Upachara Samadhi. Arpana Samadhi means the full concentration, and Upachara Samadhi means a concentration you will get when you achieve the first jhana. Now, when do you get this Samahita mind, which means the concentrated mind? Only when you either when you attain the full concentration after the 4 jhanas, or when you attain minimally the first jhana. Samahita chitta. Asamahita chitta means someone who doesn't have the both, which means many of normal people. Asamahita chitta. Vimutta chitta means a mind which has both or either of these two, Vikambana and Tadanga. Some people can withstand, some people can withdraw their mind temporarily, or some people can release their mind by repression, so or suppression or repression. So both of those temporary releasing or releasing by repression or suppression. So that's what we understand by vimutta, release mind. The 15th one, which you call Avimutta. Avimutta is a mind which is devoid of any release, the normal mind that we all have. So that's how we understand these 16 level of mind. So whenever you have these different minds, you understand, okay, let's say, for example, if I have greed now, I understand I have greed in me now. If I have hatred, I know I have greed in me. Sorry, hatred in me. If I have delusion, I know I have delusion in me. So this is how you understand Chittanupassana. And you have to practice refrain as well. Moving on to the final one, Dhammanupassana. In the Dhammanupassana, what we see is different categories, mental categories of phenomena. If you can see here, let me go back to the slide. It's pretty easy. You can see Nivarana, 5 hindrances, Khandha, 5 aggregates, Ayatana, bases, Bojjhanga, 7 Bojjhangas, such a Four Noble Truths. So whenever you have different these Dhamma, I would say Nivarana, there are 5, Kama, Chanda, Vyapada, Tina, Midda, Uddhacca, Vijita. You know, I have Kama, Chanda now. And this is how the Kama, Chanda arise. This is how Kama, Chanda is going to go away. This is how Kama, Chanda will arise in the future. So in the same way, you practice this, the rest of the Dhamma, the phenomena, because I want to sort of like be speedy. I'm not going into details. So at the end, this is Noble Truth section. You are trying to understand the Four Noble Truths. So finally, let me take this. There is an interconnectedness of the 4 Satipatthanas. You can see the breath is the starting point and the thing that always works with all the Satipatthanas. Either be that Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana. So I wanted to say that breath always works with all the things, like even to postures, even to activities we understand by Sampajana, even to body parts, even to elements, even to corpse, dead body, even to feelings, even to mind, even to hindrances, even to sense spheres, even to awakening factors, aggregates, noble truths. So they are always a back and forth process. So that means if you can really calm down your breath, you are easily getting to other Satipatthanas. And not even to those Satipatthanas, but also you can deepen your practice to stay healthy, calm, as well as to attain the Nibbana some point. In conclusion, I want to say that the difference between Noble Eightfold Path and the 4 Satipatthanas. I told you at the beginning that Noble Eightfold Path is the direct path to Nibbana. Then why it was given in Satipatthaana Suttas that Satipatthanas are the only path? Actually, if you can take a look at Magga and Nyaya, they all refer to Noble Eightfold Path. So which means Satipatthanas are conducive to Eightfold Noble Path. So there's no clash between these two. In the Dhammapada stanza, we also know, Esova Maggo Nattanyo Dasanasa Visruttya, only by following the Noble Eightfold Path, one attains the Nibbana, right? And Satipatthanas help someone to practice Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, conclusions. So the first thing that we need to understand is that what we do in the practice of Satipatthaana is that we are trying to de-automatize. Keep this word in mind. We are trying to de-automatize our experiences. This is the main plan in the Satipaṭṭhāna practice. There are different ways to practice Satipaṭṭhāna, but the main plan in the Satipaṭṭhāna is to de-automatize our experiences, because normally we automatize our activities, our experiences. So we are trying to de-automatize our habitual reactions, perceptual evaluation. So we are not trying to put them in action. We are trying to de-automatize our habitual reactions and perceptual evaluation. And also, we need to understand that Satipaṭṭhāna is a gradual process. So you need to practice breathing part in order to go to other parts. There may be some exceptional individuals like those quick theorizers who might jump into Dhammanupassana Citta. That might be okay with them. But normally, what I encourage you is that try to think that Satipaṭṭhāna is a gradual process, and the breathing is the key. Knowing the breathing is the key to all the other exercises. And even you practicing other Satipaṭṭhānas, breathing will help you much better. If you don't have good understanding of the breathing, if you don't have a refined, calmer breath, you won't be able to practice any other Satipaṭṭhānas. And also, as you can see in this final slide, it is very clear that the connection between each Satipaṭṭhāna. So breath is the central part to all the Satipaṭṭhāna. So if you practice breath very well, so you can practice all the other exercises in the Satipaṭṭhāna practice. So breath is the key. While keeping the breath really good, you're going to practice the rest of the Satipaṭṭhānas really well. And finally, you feel happy, because whenever your breath is calm, you are happy, you are not greedy, you are not angry, you are not into the moha, delusion, as well as you are slowly or quickly making your way to Nibbana. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Bhante, for your great sharing of this lecture. So if anyone want to ask question, you can raise your hand right now, and I can see one hand is being raised. Hin Kunthia, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Bhante, for your lecture. Very great. That I also learned some term that very new to me that related to the Satipaṭṭhāna, like the word atapai or sampajjan. I don't know how to pronounce this. Sampajjano and satima. Yes, it is a term that I did not find in the book that I read. Maybe I missed it, or maybe I not get this word. But what I want to ask you related to Kaya Nupassana, I really interesting in the breathing, but I also because breathing we need a certain place, we need a time to like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 1 hour. Actually, we need a place to do it, but I interest how to do the other, like the activity, like because normally we have go to work, we have to do a lot of things in the house. I just when I think about sati, when doing something, the thing is not more, because we need to observe it. So something it will be slowed down. For example, while eating, normally I don't know when we start and then finish, so we don't realize that how we chew it slowly down. So I feel that it is really, I don't know how to make it done in the daily life, because I feel that it is really slow down everything. And when we have a bath, and when we walk, and when we talk, we need to be a bit slow down. So it's really against my personality that I need to do something very quick. So how can I start to realize that something needs to be slowed down? So you need to pay attention to every single activity that would take.
Okay, the shortest,
you understand what I mean?
yeah, shortest advice is to calm your breath, and it doesn't always mean that you have to sit down and calm your breath. Let's say you are riding the bus. We know that the breath always happens if you take a good seat, and if you calm down your breath, there is the key. That's more important, because as you can see at the end, the last slide, the interconnectedness of all the Satipatthanas, all the other Satipatthanas are attached to this breath. Because if you don't try to calm your breath down, then we won't be able to do any other Satipatthanas. So the main thing is that I don't see that in order to practice breathing, you need to sit down always. So even at this point, you are talking to me and you can calm down your breath. How can we calm down our breath? The easiest way is to just to watch your breath, in breath, out breath. And then you are not trying to make it a point that you will be really uncomfortable, because you try to refine your breath. The more you refine your breath, the calmer you are. That is the key concept of Satipaṭṭhāna. Now, a lot of people describe, oh, Satipaṭṭhāna has 21 practices. People don't understand the key here. The key here is the breath. The main thing in the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta is the breath. If we refine our breath, then it's like piano. When someone starts playing a piano, they only hear the main sounds, right? But when that person is going to be a very talented pianist, that person can even hear very subtle, very subtle sounds too. Why? Attention to that particular thing. In the same way, when you refine slowly, maybe you are having heavy breaths because of the day-to-day activities, but when you are slowly, gradually looking at watching your breath, you know, I have my heavy breath because I'm thinking something else about someone, about something at work. Then you are thinking, no, I'm trying to de-automatize about my reaction to other people. I'm only looking at my breath. It is no good now. I'm gonna calm it, refine it. So it is gonna be a normal practice, right? So you have to find out, how to do it. But I say it's a practical thing, because it's a practice of within. Does it make sense to you?
Thank you, Phante. I think a lot of things that I need to learn about Satipaṭṭhāna. I got some point that you have raised. Maybe I really stick to the rule. So that's why when we take it to practice, I seem really not more in the daily life. I have one more question. Can I continue my question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I heard you said something related to the slow craving and quick craving.
Slow craver, quick craver, not craving.
Oh,
slow craver, quick craver, slow theorizer, quick theorizer.
What is theorizer?
Okay,
can you pronounce slowly so I can?
Let me tell you. Some people are liking things and people by taking time gradually. Some people like things and people right away. You know what I mean? Let's say.
Sorry, can you repeat again? I cannot catch.
Okay. Some of us in our life, some normal people, they like people and things very fast. Like some other people, they take time to like something, someone. So slow craver and quick craver. So for slow craver, the good Satipaṭṭhāna is Kayanapasana. They had to work more on Kayanapasana. For a quick craver, because their main troubling point is feeling. Because the feeling processes very faster than the body, right? You process your feeling much faster than your body, right? So that's why they are into quick quick craving type of thing. So if you are a quick craver, the Satipaṭṭhāna that you should work more is Vedananupassana. But if you take time to like something, someone, but still you are greedy about it, then Kayanupassana. Make sense?
Okay, so let me repeat. I want to understand this a bit more. Slow craver here, it means that it is a kind of person that can what it means that we cannot understand. No,
No, slow craver means someone, we all like things and people, right? In general,
yes.
we all like, if you are not an enlightened being, we all like things and people, right? So just look at how fast we get to like people and things. So this is about the speed. Some people take time to like other people, things. Some people, they like right away, just now, oh, I want to eat it, I want to feel it. So the problem that they have is they are not knowing what their feelings are. So they have to practice Vedananupassana much deeper. Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure I understand this.
Okay. What's your understanding so far?
Yes, I feel that no, what I catch from you is like how we know that we like something quicker or slower. What it because it is depend, not I don't know, it is depend the situation, the person we meet. So how we know that it is a slow or quick when we, because it is related to.
Yeah, forget about other circumstances. There are many circumstances where how we used to like someone, but what I'm saying is if someone has a lot of criteria to like something or someone, this is what I'm telling you. So if you take a lot of time based on different criteria, it takes time for me to understand you. It takes time to understand this particular thing. That means you are not a quick craver. You are a slow craver. You are liking, but you are not a quick craver. But there are people who have no criteria. They get to like the other person and things, maybe taste, maybe pleasantness right away. So they are called quick cravers. Yeah.
Okay, it is like the word sensitive. Normally we talk about person. Some person is not. It's a bit really calm. They do not show their emotion. It's like
it can be different because some sensitive people don't like other people right away. Some sensitive people, they like right away. So you can't take sensitivity to talk about to mark the difference. So however, on what reason, if someone is to like someone or thing right away, then they are quick cravers. If someone takes time, on what ground, they are called slow cravers. In the same way, slow theorizer and quick theorizer. Some people are trying to theorize everything very fast. Oh, you are very, yeah, they are trying to be judgmental. Oh, you did that. I know you. Huh? I know you, what you are doing. So they are quick theorizers. So they should practice Dhammanupassana. Some people take time to, theorize, but they are not into, they are not into what do you call craving stuff, but they are into, theories. Okay.
Okay, let's give space for other people if you have any
question. Thank you, Phante.
No problem. Thank you.
Anyone else, you can take the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Great. I can't see myself for some reason, but anyway, can I ask one question, Dr. Venerable Chandima, please? What is the main distinction between the Satipaṭṭhāna and Vipassana? What is the main distinction?
Okay, Vipassana is the way you practice Satipaṭṭhāna.
Ah, right. Okay. Thank you very much for that.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay.
Anyone else? Yeah.
I have a question, Bhante Dr. Chanama. There's two sutta, and I'm interested to know what is this, the two sutta, and there are hold on. What is DN22 and MN10 stands for?
Okay, sorry about the confusion of the abbreviation. Okay, here DN, in the Buddhist canon we have Sutta, Vinaya, Abhidhamma. The Sutta section has 5 further sections. We call them Nikayas. So one of them is Digha Nikaya, which means the longer suttas, all the longer suttas, including the Digha Nikaya. Second, Majjhima Nikaya, which means middle length suttas. They are neither longer nor shorter, kind of middle format. So Digha Nikaya 22, Majjhima Nikaya 10. So there are 2 sections of the Sutta Nikaya. So Digha Nikaya version of Satipaṭṭhāna is longer because it's longer kind of suttas. And Majjhima Nikaya, they are kind of middle.
Thank you. And I have another question. So there's the Satipaṭṭhāna is body, feeling, citta, and dhamma. And you indicated that the body and the vedana is the craving part.
Yes.
And
exactly.
then the citta and the dhamma is the intellectual speculation.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you go into a little detail of the top a little bit, and then just kind of a little examples, for it?
Okay, so if you can look at the contents of the first 2 Satipaṭṭhāna, Kaya, the body and the feelings, what is mostly, I mean, they are tangible, right? Body is tangible. Feeling is what you feel through this tangibility, right? So that's why they are tangible. Like you see a beautiful mountain, and then it's tangible, and then you have a feeling because of that. But when it comes to citta and dhamma, citta is abstract, right? Dhamma also abstract. They are not things. Chitta, you have a mind like this. You have phenomena, and you have a certain different version of phenomena. So they are theories. So they are abstract. I can hear you, friend. Yeah.
Yes. So tangible things that can be touched,
tangible,
feel.
And then abstract.
Okay. Abstract is something we can theorize, right?
Theorize.
Theorize meaning we can't see, right? Or something like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. But that's where we getting after these 2 tangible Satipaṭṭhānas. We must get in there after. But initially we have to work with the tangible stuff, and we getting the abstract stuff. Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. So the best practice, I guess, is just breathing, because I do have, when I sit down meditation for 15 minutes or so, then I have that vedana body of like not interacting the way that you want it to do. So in that particular part, when you're in that moment, you have to breathe calmer, right? I think that's your suggestions. Or would you have any good suggestions?
This is not my suggestion only. This is the suggestion of the sutta. Actually, if you take a look at 2 Satipaṭṭhāna suttas without the details, a lot of people, they get caught up in the details. So there are 21 exercises. This is this pasana. This is this anupassana. This is this content. But if you slowly observe what's going on, is only one thing: that is an attempt to have a more refined breath. So the more you have a refined breath, the calmer you are into understand the feelings and then the mind at different points, whether it is greedy, angry, or disillusional. Also, you will understand the Dhamma really well, because without calming yourself, you will not get in there. Never even think about it. So that's what I'm trying to say. Breath is a central part of all the Satipatthanas. While keeping, you start from breath, keep the breath, maintain it, slowly get into other things, end up in the noble truths in the Dhammanupassana.
And you also mentioned, probably my last one, you also mentioned about do not
De-automatize, yeah.
Demonetize yourself.
No, we're going to de-automatize, not automatize. Automatization is the problem. We have to de-automatize, because we normally automatize because we react to things and people. They are effects, outcomes of automatization. So what we're going to do with the practice of sati, which is what we see throughout all the Satipatthanas, we're going to de-automatize. We're going to stop our natural reactions. We're going to stop our natural habits, but not by repression, suppression, but by an awareness. This awareness only emerges through breathing as a starting, and then slowly we get in there. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, Bhante, I will have to wind up, I guess, around in about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm just
Bhante.
telling for those who want to ask questions before that.
Yeah, go ahead if you still have question. Anyone else? Otherwise, Bhante, you can go and say any last word, and then we end the session.
Okay, we always have a last word. Be diligent. The last word of the Buddha. Vaya Dhamma Sankhara Appamadena Sampadita. That was the last word of the Buddha, and he then passed away, right? So that appamadena is diligence. Buddha said it's like an elephant foot. All the feet of any other animal being in the world can be put inside the elephant foot. That is like appamada is the greatest quality. All the other qualities can be put inside appamada. So then atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhijja domanasa. This is definition. Then ajjata bahita, internally, externally. Samudaya Vaidhammanupassiva, looking at the anicca dukkha anatta nature of all the Satipatthanas. And then we were also talking about other two, which had Satipatchupattita, Anisitocha Loka Viharati, right there. So we have to look into definition and refrain by emphasizing the breath and maintaining the breath, bypassing the craving part through Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, and getting into the intellectual part called, two parts called Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana, and we will make our journey finalized. End the rebirth body one day. This is our plan. This is what I've been talking today. Is anyone
can I
to talk
have
to
one quick question?
Yeah.
Actually, I just see this word. You also talk about the slow phenomenon and quick phenomenon. What does it mean?
Slow? No, I was talking about slow craver, slow craver, quick craver, slow theorizer, quick theorizer.
What theorizer? Can you
Okay,
spell it?
now as I
very
told
slow.
you about the last two Satipatthanas, they are Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana. They are more abstract. So people who get stuck in the opposite side of these two Satipatthanas are people who are always theorizing. Some people theorize very fast. Some people theorize by taking time. So that's what we understand by slow theorizer, quick theorizer.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Bante. Thank you, everyone, for joining this Satipaṭṭhāna, session. And I also given a talk before about redefining 4 critical aspects of Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. If you can take a look at that, maybe I can.
By the way, Bante, can we have your
I just sent
PowerPoint? Yeah,
I just send it this way, but let me find the link for that.
Yeah.
Then they can listen to more details about
Yeah, Bante, can we have your PowerPoint slide if possible?
Yeah, I can. What if I upload them into the blog?
Yeah,
is
so
that a
you
good
can
thing?
share the link of your blog. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me find the YouTube link for that talk, so they can learn more about the Atapi Sampajano Satima Vinaya Loki Apicha Dogana Sampan. So what you call by definition part. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good day ahead. Take care.
Have
Thank
a
you
good
very
day,
much
everyone.
for your time.
De-automatize everything. That's the plan. Okay. Take care.
Thank you.